Well, hello and welcome to this week's Brand Breakthrough Show. I'm very excited. We've got an awesome guest that I'm interviewing on today's show, so I cannot wait to introduce you to Athena Gray, who is one of our incredible Brand Builders Club members, who, as part of the Brand Builders Club, there's lots of collaborations that are going on, and one of those collaborations actually started with this book. I will just grab it for you. It started with a conversation around a table in France. And Kezia Luckett brought her idea to the table and we masterminded it, and it became Women of Contribution. And as a result of that, it became a book, it became a program, it became a whole growing global movement to reach the lives of over 1 billion people. Women specifically was the key focus at the beginning, but now so many men's lives have also been changed as a result of this book and the work that Kezia has been doing. The first 18 authors, as you'll see, I was one of them. I designed this cover. And so it was amazing being a part of the first book. And the second book is launching on International Women's Day on the 8th of March next week. So I'm very, very excited that it's all just super exciting that book number 2, the Pay It Forward Notes to Your Younger Self, volume 2 is going to be coming out next week. And the reason I wanted to interview Athena today is not only because she's awesome and in the next book, but also because she has some brilliant experience where she's been going into businesses for a long, long time and saving them a huge amount of time, money and energy on how they're building, branding and expanding their businesses. So I wanted to bring Athena on today as an interview to give you that information and to help you as you are building your brand, so you're not wasting time, money or energy on the things you don't need to be doing either. So we're going to be talking about that in today's show. And first of all, I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you feel like are kind of time zappers in your business? What are some of the things that are zapping your time, that are maybe taking your attention away from some of the things that you know you could be doing that are earning you money while you are doing these distracting things? Hi Sam, hi Lubna. So yeah, put in the comments box below, what are some of the things that are the big distractions that are taking you away from building your brand and expanding your business? Because hopefully when Athena comes on, we'll get a chance to interview her and ask her what some of her key, amazing, gorgeous, juicy tips are that that we can bring to you today. Athena, struggling to connect. Just see if you can connect via your phone maybe. Can you get on via your phone? Let me see if I can add you on. No, currently I have Lubna. You can bring Lubna on. I don't know that Lubna's prepared to be brought on, but I could bring Lubna on. Her name is coming up at the moment. But Athena, as you're just there waiting to get online. Some of the things that I do in terms of really measuring my time, there's some things that I do. And in fact, for those of you that have been through the 7-step brand builders blueprint, you will find that as part of that, awesome Athena, as part of that, I created a workbook, and on one of those pages there is an ABC list. Let me see if I can just get this up for you, and then I'll be able to show you what I mean by that. Unfortunately, I can't share my screen because I'm on my phone. Lubna's like, no. Okay, so 7-step brand builders blueprint. Let's get the workbook up here, because as part of the workbook, one of the key things that I found that's really helped me with my time before we bring Athena on. Let's just take that off there and see if I can share this with you. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Is an A skills, B skills and C skills list. So when you have time, is to get a sheet of paper and write A skills down the left, and B skills next to that, and C skills next to that. And the key thing with these is that as you go throughout your day, so for example, tomorrow you could do this, because everything we do is instantly implementable. So you could do this tomorrow, get a sheet, do that, and every single thing that you do write it in either in the A column, the B column, or the C column. Here's the difference between those three things. So your A skills, these are things that are your A game. They make you money. You love doing them. You would do them every day if you could, and they're productive. They change lives. It makes a difference in the world. Your A skills, it's really you playing in your A game. Your B skills, these are skills that you could do and you can do. You're okay at them, but it's really not a good use of your time. So they're things that you do get involved in, but they're not necessarily making you money. You don't enjoy them as much as you could do. And they're really taking you away from the things that are doing your A skill stuff, right? Your C skills, these are the things that you should not be getting involved in. It doesn't make you happy. You're not in flow when you're in that C skills mode. For me, that's anything detailed, anything that's like accounts or adding stuff up, really minute detail type stuff, contracts, anything like that. My brain just wants to just melt. It's not a good use of my time. There's absolutely somebody else that is better in the world at that than me. And so that's where your C skills need to go. So every time you do something that is either like you're in flow, you're in your A game, you're making sales, you're on stage, you're totally just absolutely in your A game, write those things down. What you'll probably find is that if you do this every day, for a week, for example, hi Gail, you do this every day for a week, and you'll probably find that your C skills that you think are like these are horrendous, they're eating up your time, absolutely not worth you doing them, you need to get someone else doing them. You'll probably find that somebody comes into your life, if they're not in your life already, who could take those things away. And it's like, as soon as you become aware of them, you're able to then look at them and think, wow, that's stopping me from being in my A game. And if my A game means that I'm really serving in a bigger way and I'm making money, so the more I serve, the more I sell, that's where I should be spending my time. So what is it worth to me? What is it worth to my business? And what is it worth to the people that I could make a difference to for me to be playing over there? What is it doing? If I'm playing there, then what is it actually taking me away from? So get rid of those things. And you might even find that some of the things that you put in your A skills move across to your B skills, and quite often your B skills start moving across into your C skills. And so that's one of the ways that I find really helps me to keep in my A game for sure. So let's find out what I think about staying in your A game. So if you've got any questions about this, please put them in the comments box. And even if you're watching the replay, don't worry, post your questions still, because and your comments, because if you tag us in, we can always back and answer your question. So here we go. Here's you.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, really good. Getting excited. I leave Saturday for London, so I'm excited.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So tell us about some of the things that you've gone through. Before we'll talk about effectiveness and team and time and all those things, but I really want to hear about your trip over to the UK. So tell us, what are you coming over to the UK for?
So our book launch for Pay It Forward, Notes to Your Younger Self, Volume 2 is launching on March 8th. Along with that, Kezia and her Women of Contributions conference is being done as well, and we will be attending that conference and releasing our book on that day. So I'm coming over along with my husband, my two sisters, my brother, and my best friends to support me. We're going to be over there in London for the first week, and then after the conference and the book launch, we're going to take off and go over to Paris. So
Woo!
2 weeks we get some fun and freedom.
I love it. And fun and freedom is what you can achieve when you actually build your business in a way that you can leave it for that period of time. So give us some of the tips. So what do you do when you go into work with a client for the first time? Let's look at some different variations. So what would be the first thing that you'd look at if you were walking into an entrepreneur who's really like setting up, they're just in the process of setting up their office, they haven't learned the disasters that are about to befall them? So what are some of the things that you would recommend before they get started? Hi, Daniel.
Well, I think that what you just showed, the ABC, is really, really important for a business. And doing that from the beginning, instead of getting into your business and having things kind of go crazy and then trying to figure it out later, it's definitely one of the first steps. I think I shared with you offline, I kind of got this name of the FTE hacker. It's not a great name, but the work that I kind of fell into, the whole continuous process improvement in my day job. And it was something that I really excelled at and found that I loved. So the first thing when you go into a business, you want to take a look at what do they have set up? What do they plan on doing? And start setting their processes up now so that they can start working those and really, again, focusing on those A processes that they're really good at and finding alternative solutions to the B's and C's.
Love it. So what for our entrepreneurs that are terrified about employing people or looking at that C list and going, oh my gosh, where do I even start with that? I mean, there's that first realization. I remember the first time I ever did it, the first realization of like, oh my goodness, I am getting involved in so many things that it is not moving me or my business forward. And that's probably why I'm so tired, you know? And I remember looking at that list thinking, what do I even do with that?
So I started out like that, going crazy and realizing that wasn't getting me anywhere. And so I took a step back and I really started looking at the things that I didn't want to do, that didn't feel good to me. And I started reaching out to people. Before I even started my business, I started building relationships, which I think is really important. And I started reaching out to people that I knew did some of those things and asking them if they wanted to partner with me. And what I found is a lot of people are willing to partner with you if they're one, just getting started themselves, they want that exposure, or two, that's just the type of business they had. But what I found is I wasn't having to pay people up front to do these things. They were willing to share in the profits. So that helped save money when I first got started, and helped get some of those things that I did not like off my plate so I can really focus on building that business.
Yeah, okay. That's a really good idea. So there are other resources as well, aren't there? I know there are resources like People Per Hour and Upwork.
And they're actually not as expensive as people think. They think about, particularly here in the US, if you were going to go into an employer and get a job, I mean, you're going to expect 15 to 20 bucks an hour. But if you're working with somebody online who this isn't their full-time job and they're doing work, you can get it for a lot less. And so a lot of times, if you think about how much money you make per hour and then how much you're actually going to spend to have somebody else do it, you're making more money by outsourcing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got a rule here that it's like, if it's a $5 task, it shouldn't be done in this office.
Exactly. I mean, even $10, when you think about it, somebody is giving you 10 hours a week. That's just $100 a week. That really, in the grand scheme of things, is not that much.
Yeah, and it also depends, I guess, on what you're getting done and what part of the world you're in. I know that in Malaysia they have a very similar work ethic to us, although they're at a different kind of end of the scale. What I find is when I'm working with team in Malaysia, I'm sending at the end of my day, I'm sending them the brief of what I want. I go to bed, I wake up the next morning, and it's done. So it's like it's awesome. So, also thinking about how you can utilize the power of these amazing, gifted, genius experts who are also, around the world, that to them, $10 is the equivalent of like $100 to us.
Right.
So you're getting a lot more for your money as well, the more that you start to expand around the world as well. Hi, Lucia. So what about for going into see an existing company? Say that a company's been going for maybe 2 or 3 years, so they've learned a lot the hard way, and they've got things going on. And usually, if you've been in business 2 or 3 years, depending on your business, I guess, but there's usually another 1 or 2 people in your business by that point if you're planning to grow something. So if you've got a team of, say, between 2 and 5 people, what are some of the things you're looking at when you go into those businesses?
Again, the first thing I start with is their processes. What are they doing on a daily basis? How are they spending their time? So this is not always a favorite activity, but it produces such great results, is I do time studies. And we start just documenting everything they're doing on a regular basis for about a week's period of time. And then we start looking about where they're time wasters, because people don't realize until they're documenting their time how much time they're wasting browsing Facebook, shopping for shoes during their workday. And so when you start making them conscious and mindful of how they're spending their time, you can see how people have so much more time. So that's one of the first things that we do. And then we start looking and honestly tearing apart those processes and really looking, are you doing those in the most efficient way? Does that have to be done manually? Is there a way that we can automate this? Is there someone else that can do it more effectively? So those are the first things. And once you have those down, then you can really start building those automated processes and removing, unfortunately, team members in the process. That's how I got my name as the FTE hacker.
What does FTE stand for?
Full-time equivalent in the corporate world.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately, I went into a business, one of my very first ones. They had 9 people in their department. And I immediately thought, why do you need 9 people for a company this size? And then I started looking at what people were doing, and you had one person doing one activity, and it certainly wasn't taking them all day long to do it. And so I started having those hard conversations. In the end, we ended up with 3 people on that team.
Oh my God, that must have saved them a fortune.
It saved them $650,000 a year in salary alone. Yeah. So it was a little crazy.
Wow. I see one of the things that I learned with the last business that I sold in 2013, when I got a coaching, because I was like, why is it like we're working so hard? We've got this team flat out. We had 13 members of the team at that time. So we had a big, busy design studio. We had the social media expert, the SEO. We had, I think we had 3 developers, a design team. Then there was myself, my business partner. We had 2 PAs. He had one, I had one. You know, it was like, it was quite a big, it was starting to become sizable. And in fact, I remember the very first Christmas party we had, and the company had grown so fast because it had all kind of blown up in about a year, and the company grew so fast that when we went for our Christmas party, I remember walking into the room and thinking, oh my God, I'm responsible for all these people, because everybody had brought their partner, their wife or their girlfriend or whatever, and I was like, wow, okay, this is actually a lot of people. I felt the weight of the responsibility. But in the lead up, but in the like aftermath of that, of realizing, wow, we've got so many people, I brought a coach in to do exactly what you're talking about. I brought a coach in and said, look, you know, we've got a sizable business now. You know, we're not as profitable as I would expect us to be with a team of this size. Hi, June.
Yeah.
And so we went through everything, and he did it was brilliant. And I use this every day now. I use this in my hour, I use it in my day, I use it in my week, I use it in my months. And it's the red, blue, and black process. And I don't know if you use this, but for those of you that are watching, this is brilliant. So what he had me do was label each of the team roles as either red, blue, or black. So black is purely strategic. You're not earning money while you're doing it, but it's tomorrow's money. So, you know, like doing the sprints. So if you're doing our 5-day sprints, in the time that you're spending or investing doing the sprints or the challenges that I'm doing, that's black activity, because you're working on tomorrow's money. Blue activity, sales, business development, stuff that's bringing in the money now. So you've got today's money is blue, tomorrow's money, next month's money, next year's money, that's black. And then you've got red activity. Your red activity is admin. It costs you money. It doesn't save you money. It costs you money. It costs you time. It costs you energy. And they're things that have to be done. They're like all of your C skills stuff. They have to be done for the organization to run, but they cost you money, because the sale has already been made and now they're delivering. And when I labeled up, when I colored all of the roles, I was like, no wonder this business is turning millions over, but we're not profitable, because myself and my business partner were the only ones that were blue. Everyone else was red. Yeah. And so I'm thinking, well, there's 2 blue and 13 red, And we kind of get into black as much as we can. And that I was just like, wow, okay. So that makes you really realize as well, you know, when I'm looking at my activity for a day, like if I look at my day's activity today, I've done a little bit of black. Probably 60% of my day has been blue, and then the rest of it has been red, just managing stuff. But you think, oh my God, like, you know, you've got to be careful of that red stuff, right? And if you start, like you said, writing everything down, I've got a red pen, a black pen, and a blue pen. And when I do a task, if I'm focused on it, I don't do it all the time because I hate detail. But when I need to measure, like, where the hell is my day going? This is getting a bit out of control. I will write it down and I look. And usually when I'm getting to the end of my day and thinking I haven't even achieved anything that I set out to achieve today, I usually, like, 95% of my page will be red. And it's just unbelievable. Do you find that when you go and work in with companies?
I do, and I actually have 4 categories. So you have what I call the lowest category, which is our D work, which is the admin work. It's the transactional work. And then you have someone where you bring them up to responsibility. So they are still doing transactional work, but they have some specific responsibilities. And then you bring them through to accountability, which is the 4th level, which is where now you're not only responsible for the work, but you're accountable for it and you can make decisions on it. And you don't need to have the owner involved in that. And then you give that owner or that manager, they're at the highest level, which is the strategic level, where they're planning, they're removing bottlenecks, they're making sure that the business continues to move on the path that needs to go.
Wow. I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? When you're in the first throes of your business, and hi, Selena, you're in the first throes of your business, you're excited, you know, you don't want to be thinking about these things. You want to be doing the exciting stuff, you know, the stuff that, you know, is making money. You're in the creation process. And then you look at this stuff and it's like, oh, really? Do I really have to do that? But what happens? What is the cost of not doing it, Athena?
Well, you're costing your business money because you're doing it. And if you think about how much money or how much money your time is worth as a business owner, just say, for instance, you're a coach and you charge $250 an hour. Every second you're working on a $10 administrative task, you're losing $240 an hour. So, I mean, that's just a simple way to put it. And you can really, the goal of someone in business that is an entrepreneur is you want that freedom. You want to be able to choose what you want to work on and when you want to work on it. So taking a business owner through that process, the administrative, the responsibility, accountability to strategic, really helps open their eyes to how much money is being wasted in their business.
And you know, for those of you that are watching this that are less focused on money and more on impact, let's look at what that means. Because when you're selling, you're serving. You must be serving to be able to make that sale, right? So, you know, when you add value to someone else's life, they're going to pay you for adding value to that. So let's think about this. If you were to create a really awesome 2-minute video and you put that out and ran a little Facebook advert and you spent, say, $10 on running that ad, and that ad was seen by 4,000 people, and out of those 4,000 people, maybe 3,000 of them would receive a message or receive something from you that really changed their life, or it changed their day, or that it did something for them, or they shared it with someone who it would do something for. And not only that, but then maybe even 10 to 20% of those people went through to spend money with you, which means that you can serve even in a greater way. But more importantly, if you could, in that 1 hour, deliver a webinar where you're supporting 200 people to move to action, you've now, by spending 1 hour on some administrative task that somebody else could absolutely manage for you, you've just stopped 200 people's lives from moving forward as a result. You couldn't show up. How could you show up for them when you're only showing up in front of your computer screen, working on an Excel spreadsheet, or managing the bank account, or printing receipts or, you know, doing emails or, you know, stuff that's really not out there serving. So it's an incredible thing, right? If money doesn't move you, impact should.
Right,
The impact
exactly.
that you are able to make,
The less people you're
if you're
touching.
not showing up, yeah, exactly. You can't touch lives if you're stuck there doing those things. Gail said, both of these are great frameworks. I also think it's important to look at the energy cost for folks working in one of those red, blue, or black columns.
Absolutely.
Their natural brilliance and comfort versus something at which they are capable but not brilliant. Love that, Gail. Excellent. Absolutely excellent.
That's very true.
So, Athena,
because I know when I'm doing those C tasks, they're draining. When you're doing those C tasks, they drain your energy, and then you don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, and to be around somebody that's doing those C tasks as well, if that's not their A game, that can be as a soul destroying. That could be a soul destroying.
Very much so.
Because, like, that, you know, if they're going to be an energy vampire because they're getting stuck on those things, I think it's important to also realize when your team is in flow as well, and especially if there's only 2 of you in the office and you can tell when that person's out of flow. It's like, okay, it's time to move that on somewhere else.
Yep.
And especially if you work on your own, if you're getting in contact with people and you know, and they're having a meltdown because they're not in their A game, it can be just as soul destroying, can't it, when you're speaking to somebody else who's going through it?
Absolutely.
So, Athena,
yeah,
I found
a
little bit about.
Sure.
Oh, got a delay.
No, go ahead.
No, you first. So tell us a little bit about your story in the book without giving too much of it away, because obviously you've been through this whole journey. You go and you do all these things for businesses, and yet behind the smile, behind the exterior of the putting on the face every day, going in, you're making these massive impacts on these businesses, yet we carry this stuff around with us that we wish that our younger self had been able to give us that advice way before we jumped on the train.
Exactly.
So can you give us a little bit of a sneaky peek into the story we're going to find in the book?
Yes. So it was a very cathartic process to go through this. And it was really eye-opening for me and really shined a light on why I do the work that I do. And my journey started when my dad passed away when I was really young, and how that impacted my relationships with my stepmother and my mother. And then my portion of the book then goes on to talk about how the end of my mother's life and how we worked through that.
Wow.
So it was go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so is the story then, is it a lesson in endings in many ways, not just the ending of a life, but are there lessons in there that we can apply to endings for many of the things that we need to end?
Absolutely. And one of the things that, and you can see that throughout my work, but one of the things that I discovered about myself is I'm a control freak, which I know a lot of entrepreneurs are. But it got to the point where my family was calling me vacation Nazi when we were on vacation, because every little thing was planned out and controlled. And that was really eye-opening for me about 10 years ago. And I started to really take a look at that. I mean, and when I wrote this section or this chapter of the book, it really showed me how it impacted my relationships even further. And so letting go of that control, I say my quote in there is, when you let go control, it's so freeing, and it loosens your shoulders and it lightens your mood. So that's kind of the lesson that you learn from my journey.
Love it. I cannot wait to read it. And we've not got long to wait now. So for those of you
I'm
who are
excited.
just joining us, Selena's just asked what the name of the book is. So this is volume 1 of the book. It's Notes to Your Younger Self, volume 1. Athena, Lubna, I think there are about 10 or 11 Brand Builders Club members that are part of the 18 who are writing this book. I think it was about the same amount for volume 1, all of of our authors that were in volume 1. I think like 2/3 of them are Brand Builders Club members. So it's wonderful to see the collaboration globally. I believe Saskia Vandery is in the new book as well. You've got Flavia Powell. Lubna's obviously on the call. You've got
Judith
Selena's
Quinn.
got volume 1. Judith Quinn, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of who else. Like, you've got like a whole load of brand builders in there. So I'm so thrilled and proud of you and the amazing contribution that you are each making to creating this global movement and making it, just spreading it. You know, that the only way to reach lives is for us to take action. And when we take action, we get traction. But we are not the only lives that move forward when we start taking that action. So I'm super, super excited to see the amazingness of what is about to be. And you can order your Kindle version now, and the actual physical book, is that going to be launched on
March 8th.
The International Women's Day?
Yes, on March 8th. Yeah.
Perfect. Cannot wait to get my signed copy. So for those of you that have tuned in today, I'm very excited that even if we've been able to give you a few little sneaky tips that will help you in your business, I'm very blessed, Athena, that you are in my life, that you're in the Brand Builders Club, that we're getting to see you blossom at the same time as your brand, and that other people will blossom as a result of you releasing what is in your heart and giving that as a gift in the chapter that you put into the book. And I cannot wait to see the amazing explosion that's going to happen as soon as it goes live.
Well, I'm very grateful and blessed to be part of this, and thank you for welcoming me into your family.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I think I'm going to see you in April in Florida. We've got our next events, our Brand Builders Day training events in April. So I think we're going to see you in Florida, aren't we? Because we're in Atlanta as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Come back next week. We will be live with another author from the Pay It Forward series book. Lubna, thank you so much. She's just put the link there for you to pre-order your copy of the book. And thank you for joining us live. And if you're watching the replay right now, make sure you look up for Lubna's comment here, because there might be other comments after this. Look for Lubna's comment where she said pre-order here with a nice big juicy heart there. And you can pre-order your book before anybody else gets one. So take care. Have an amazing evening. I'm now going to jump.
Thank you.
Amanda Frolick, who is running our first think tank in London. So I'm going to go and join their think tank remotely right now. I'll be a talking head at a live event. So that's going to be interesting. And if you haven't been to one of our think tanks yet, do get in touch, because we're running these think tanks all over the world. And it's a great opportunity to get entrepreneurs together to discuss what is stopping you from going global. So take care, have a great evening, and I will see you in the group. Mwah!
Thank you.